And finally, to speak on behalf of Ken Montfort, for whose family this beautiful hall is named. Ken, as you've heard from several others, was a key financial contributor to the building of the center. Please welcome to the stage me, actually. So this story comes from Dick Montfort, one of Ken's sons, who, along with other members of the Montfort family, unfortunately were not able to attend today's ceremony. So Dick wrote us this story. He says that sometime around 1986 or so, his father, Kenny, called a family meeting with the kids, Kyle, Dick, Kay, and Charlie. And so if you'll indulge me for just a minute, I want you to stretch your mind and imagine for the next 2 minutes or so that I am Dick Montfort. So this kind of meeting was never called unless something bad was about to happen, like a divorce or selling the company or talking about being broke, all of which unfortunately were real things we talked about. Now, needless to say, none of us kids were very excited about this meeting, so we all sat down and Dad started out by saying, I have been selected to be the chair of raising money for something they're calling the Union Colony Civic Center Concert Hall. And I remember thinking, well, Dad, so what? And then he started telling us about his dad and giving back to the community and the whole business with Warren moving the feedlots and all that. And we were listening. We'd learned to do that. But we were perplexed because none of us really had any money. So we were all thinking, well, Dad, what's this all about? And after a while I asked, all right, well, how much would you like us to give? And he said, $250,000. There was a silence, and I finally said, in total? And he looked us each in the eye and said, no, each one of you. So I said, you gonna loan us the money, Dad? No, he said, you've got to do it on your own. Well, personally, I was living in my grandmother's house at the time. And I didn't even own that. And all I had for an asset was a junker car that was probably worth $1,000. And I figured, this is going to take me 20 years to come up with that kind of money. So Dad looked us in the eyes and he told us that we each had stock in the company. And that we were going to start this fundraising effort by each donating 20,000 shares apiece. Now, I don't know about my brothers and sisters, but I'll tell you right now, I didn't even know I had those shares. And that's pretty much how it all started. So, thank you.
I'm not sure whether to thank Noel or Dick for that. That was a great delivery there. And a great story with a great message, because our children do not automatically know how to grow up and give back to their communities. They learn through what their parents have shown them, and that's a great story for that. So here we are with 25 years of glorious productions and events behind us. And while history is important and must be honored, what's coming up?
Roses, maybe?
Well, of course, we can never have too many roses. Well, yes, but what's in the future for the UCCC? And for us, and for our kids, and for our kids' kids?
Well, the Civic Center staff are honored to be the caretakers of such a valuable jewel as the Civic Center, and are constantly pursuing ways to keep this place the premier performance venue in northern Colorado. Of course, there are many, many folks, the custodians, the technicians, the electricians, the plumbers, the painters, and countless others who do the ongoing daily maintenance necessary to keep this facility looking just as beautiful as the day it opened, and I think we can agree it just looks terrific.
Absolutely, and then there's the big stuff, such as relaying carpets, replacing the stage floor, and reupholstering the seats.
Now, while we're talking about seats, many of you have suggested to the staff that it would be nice to add a center aisle here at Montfort Concert Hall to make it a little easier to get to the seats. Well, there's an artist's conception of what that might look like. The City Brain Trust is thinking about that and researching that very possibility. Of course, it takes all the best seats right out of the center of the house. There are also plans to redesign the landscape out in front, and there are such architectural plans. in front of this building to make a pedestrian-friendly walking plaza that incorporates public art. The UCC staff, along with the Greeley Art Commission and our own Ed Rogers over there, who heads that committee, are pursuing that very ideal and other ways to celebrate the unique architecture of the center.
It's great to know that plans are being made for years down the road. But I want to talk about the very near future. Have you seen the new season lineup? It's terrific.
It is amazing. There's some great events coming up. As a matter of fact, the official season actually began last night with The Price is Right. Anybody here at that production last night? Did you win anything? Did you get Bob Barker's autograph or something? No. Well, the ticket office is open this afternoon right out here for all the fall shows. Tickets are on sale if you haven't already. Stop by and pick up your brochure and buy your tickets.
And when we're done here, please join us in the lobbies for birthday cake.
Okay.
And stay to enjoy the many performances and activities that will be happening throughout the building and in the lobbies.
Charmaine and I would like to thank everyone who worked to make the silver anniversary such a special event. We're the front folks. You see us, but what you don't see are the hours and hours and hours of committee members, meetings, research that's been done. People have been tracked down from the past. It took hours and hours of such planning, and we feel honored to have been just a small part of that. So please take time to take the program home today. Read those names of those dedicated people, and if you see them in the grocery store, thank them as well. Let's thank them all right now.
I must admit, this has been a very nostalgic and bittersweet afternoon for me. 25 years ago, my good friend and collaborative pianist Virgie Amendola and I stepped onto this stage to perform There's No Business Like Show Business. It was UCCC's dedication and ribbon-cutting ceremony. I remember standing backstage and hearing MC Joe Tennyson announce, "And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we have all been waiting for." And I suddenly realized, as my heart skipped a beat, the enormity of what we were about to do. Fill this beautiful space with our music for the first time. As I walked onto the stage, I looked at the assembly of dignitaries to my left. Influential, visionary people from our community, county, and state, many of them have spoken today, who had worked so hard for this moment. As I looked into their eyes, however, and I did look into their eyes, I didn't see VIPs that day. I saw sparkling eyes filled with joy and pride and the excitement and anticipation of kids on Christmas morning. What a privilege it was to give back to them at that time. I'll never forget it, and I can still see it today. And that is just one of my many memories here. There are many more, including so many with the GPO and Maestro Howard Skinner. Great fun all. Noel, what are some of your memories about performing in this Northern Colorado showplace?
Well, I remember playing the role of Fagin in the Stampede Troupe's production of Oliver, the first community show on this huge stage, with my son Kevin playing Oliver, and my wife Linda and my daughter Andrea in the production too. And of course, who could forget my forgetting the lyrics to the Modern Major General in the UNC Amphitheater production of Pirates of Penzance. But really, Charmaine, the costumes, the scenery, the makeup, the props, the audience that lifts you when you're down.
The headaches, the heartaches, the backaches, the flops, the sheriff who escorts you out of town, the opening when your heart beats like a drum,
The closing when the customers won't come. There's no business like show business, like no business I know. Everything about it is a feeling, everything the traffic will allow. Nowhere could you get that happy feeling when you are stealing that extra bow. There's no people like show people. Smile. show business, I know business, I know. Everything about it is appealing. Everything the traffic will